Ed, you're the genius, man. You are going to be able to take this blank canvas and help me turn it into my dream pond.
Everything's going to work fine. But if there is one little failure, it could be a catastrophic failure. And we get thousands of gallons of water that goes all over the basement floor, which I hate even thinking of that.
I want it to be sort of like an Amazonian tank. Maybe I can get like a little baby arapaima. I don't know. Ed, can we make it bigger? Can I have an arapaima?
Well, we probably could.
This is going to be my dream indoor pond.
Hey, good morning everybody. Ed the Pond Professor here. I am coming to you from Aqualand, our corporate office in St. Charles, Illinois, and I am checking out this incredible water feature that we built here last year. This is our incredible koi pond, and what we did was really unique was we put in this koi viewing window, which is really cool. I mean, just check this out. The koi love going right up in front and around this. We had our buddy George, Coralfish 12G, out. We were checking out a few different things, and he was actually dropping off his koi from his personal pond. We have them stored back over there. He was looking at this and says, you know what? I think I need one of these in my basement. And I'm like, holy cow, you're nuts, dude. We started discussing the possibility of creating a wooden structure similar to this with a viewing window in his basement. But he wants a bigger viewing window, actually twice the size of this. So we have some serious construction that we have to look at. So what I think we're gonna have to do is head on up to my office, start some drawings, get some ideas and some concepts so we could build this. The ideal thing is it's winter time. Things are shut down, everything's frozen over. So this is the perfect time for me to head up to George's place, help him design and build an incredible feature for this, like this, at his own property. Let's go take a walk. All right, we're up in my office right now. I want to show you some of my thoughts. So I have done this before, so I kind of have a pretty good idea of what works. George's basement, it's got a wall kind of coming around like this. This goes all the way along like that. There's actually a furnace back over here, but there's also a sump pump kind of tucked in this corner over here. So there's a wall over here, and then there's actually a door kind of over in this section here to get into all that. So this is all storage and that type of stuff. So my thought is I want to utilize that basin over there for water changes and things like that. We want to build a wall type structure coming out. I'm going to build a double wall. I do not want to use the existing wall that's here. I want to get a biofalls over here in this one corner. So this will be like a little waterfall coming out over here, a little bit of a bump out of some sort over in here, and then our skimmer is going to sit right in this area here. Water kind of coming in right over in here. I would also like to set it up with some sort of a cleanout mechanism. So right back over in this corner, I'm thinking of putting a T over here and then bringing water into that sump pump. So we could actually put a valve in there. So that valve will be able to open and shut. So if he wants to do a water change or something like that, he'll be able to do that. Now, the other thing that we want to do is we are going to put in a massive window. I'm going to show that also in blue. And then we're going to have to kind of change this structure a little bit. So I'm going to actually have to beef up all of this stuff with woodwork. I want to show you what we're going to have to do from a structural standpoint underneath. So let's go to another drawing. I want to build a double wall. So if this is our concrete, I'm going to put a wooden plate. I'm thinking a 2x12, so that's going to be 11.5 inches basically wide. I'm going to take a series of concrete bolts and I'm going to anchor that piece of 2x12 down into the concrete. Now the tank is over on this side, so the water is going to be pushing in this direction. This entire wall is going to probably be about 3.5 feet tall. He wants it similar to what we currently have here at our office. So what I want to do is we have to build a series of walls inside of here. So I'm just going to use regular 2x4 construction, and I'm going to do a double wall, and then I'm going to do another 2x12 up here on the top. All this stuff will be screwed in place. I'm not using nails, I'm using big long screws to anchor everything. Now, because of this incredible push, we're going to have a huge load going in this direction. It's going to want to take this entire wall and push it over. So there's two forces that are going to be occurring here. One of them, because this is going to be anchored down into the ground, this is going to want to pop up. So this is going to want to move up, and then that will move over. So it's going to kind of be in a big radius motion. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is really well anchored into the concrete, especially on the water side. So imagine something kind of tilting, you know, so if you push a box over, it's going to want to open this joint up right down there. So we want to make sure that that's really good and tight to the concrete. So I'm going to use 3/8 inch diameter anchors, and they're going to go into the concrete several inches. Now, one of the other things that I've done here at our office and on other projects is I'm going to take another 2x4 and I'm going to cut it into place over into here. So that 2x4 is going to help transfer this big push. Remember, we got all this weight that's going to be pushing on the side of that wall. So I want to transfer that load down to this other anchor. So it's going to lock everything in place. So once I have this entire wall built, I'm going to cover everything with 3/4 inch plywood. So that's a heavy duty plywood base. The reason I'm not going to go all the way to the ground is this bottom piece of 2x12 here is treated for ground contract. So it's not going to get any moisture, it's not going to cause any problems. So I want to make sure that that's treated material. So I also want to put another piece of treated material right down here on the bottom. I'm going to put a false bottom in place. So I'm going to use what we call our flow cells or drainage cells. So this is about 1.25 inches. It's a hollow structure. It's going to allow water, moisture, airflow underneath everything. Now on top of that, I'm going to cover everything with our heavy duty geotextile material and then our rubber liner. But the reason I have this underneath everything is for that airflow, and in case we get any little drips or any type of leaks or anything like that, I want that water to be able to move or flow. I don't want to get it trapped between the rubber liner and the concrete. So this is also the reason why I'm putting in this piece of treated right here. I don't want anything to rot out. Now the other thing that I'm going to do right in between that piece of treated material and the concrete, I'm going to use a silicone sealant. I'm actually going to seal that piece of treated material to the concrete, so if I do get any water inside of there, it's not going to go anywhere else in the basement. Now there are two scenarios for this, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. One, everything's going to work fine, but if there is one little Achilles and there's a failure, might be a little bit of a leak, but odds are it could be a catastrophic failure, which I hate even thinking of that. I'm going to take my time. We are not going to cut back on any of the expenses because we got to make sure that this thing holds up long term. I hope you enjoyed this little segment right here because it's kind of hard to show all these little pieces when we're actually doing it. There are a couple other details that we have to discuss here. I do have some customized steel plates that I'm going to design and have fabricated for us that are actually going to hold this glass panel into position. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. I am here with our buddy George. We are doing some really cool stuff over at his place. Tell us your thoughts. I mean, it's a pond in your basement. How many thousands of gallons that we're talking about for this thing? 3 feet deep?
This is going to be my dream indoor pond. Over a year ago now, a year and a half ago, built me a wonderful outdoor pond. I've loved it. My entire family has enjoyed it from the moment we got it. The unfortunate part about Chicago is the weather.
Brutally cold.
For 6 months, 7 months of the year, we can't enjoy the outdoor pond. I love it so much. I don't want that to end when the snow comes. So we're building an indoor pond so that my koi fish can actually be moved indoors, have a place to live inside my house where we can continue to enjoy them. And yeah, it's gonna be huge. Like, I don't know if you can really tell on camera how big this space is in this corner, but it's a lot of space.
It's a ton of space. It is insanity.
It's a little crazy.
You're also talking about doing possibly stingrays maybe in here.
While my koi get moved back outdoors, I want to have stingrays, arowanas in here. I want it to be sort of like an Amazonian tank. Maybe I can get like a little baby arapaima. I don't know. Ed, can we make it bigger? Can I have an arapaima?
Well, we probably could. It's a massive space. The good thing is we got power over here, sump pump over in the back for safety backup. We do have to cut carpet out, build a lot of structural stuff, but now's the time. If you want to make something bigger, now's our opportunity.
Those are all the little things too that like I probably wouldn't think of, which is why you and the Pond Professor are here, because Ed, you're the genius, man. You are going to be able to take this blank canvas and help me turn it into my dream pond. I'm just so excited that you're here. Literally, I know how busy you are and how amazing you are at building these ponds. So to get you in my basement for a week, it's just like a dream come true.
No, totally looking forward to it. I've been thinking about it since you brought up the subject many months ago, just because I love the creative process and coming up with all these ideas. And I know you're going to go nuts with this thing. Once it's in, it's going to be incredible, the transformation you're going to create out of it.
We're going to start bringing aquascapers, different artists from Aquashella. I want this space to look completely different. I want you to feel like you're, looking at fish maybe in the jungle.
I love it.
Not in the tundra of Illinois.
And you just got back from the jungle, actually, didn't you?
I did, in Colombia, exploring the freshwater river system. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
That trip was perfect to do before this build, because now I have so much inspiration how to mix different fish together so that it's really like a community tank.
Let's start laying stuff out.
Okay,
so we have everything laid out on the ground over here. You can see this blue tape that's here. The outside edge here is the structural wall that's going to be built. The inside is still a wall, but that's actually where the water's going to be. It's where the rubber liner is going to be, and then we're going to have the glass panels right here in these big openings. And we have 2 of those glass panels. So again, this is just a change that just literally popped up. Just looking at everything with George, walking around, he wanted something very symmetrical, and I think we nailed it. I mean, this is a really cool design. We got the structural components that we need. We have the areas for our filters, pre-filter here, biological filter located in the back, but tons of room for visibility. Because we made the change, I have to call the steel manufacturer and see if we can get some more metal framing built in the next couple days. So I know it's really short notice, but we're going to try to do everything we can to make that happen. George already made the call to the glass guy to see if we can get a duplicate panels. We have a pretty tight time frame, so we're going to try to make all this happen in the next 12 days. We are going to go to the lumber store next. We're going to start picking out all the pieces that we need, tools, everything that we're going to need to pull this off, stage it upstairs in the garage where we can do all the cutting and fabricating, bring all the pieces down, screw everything together, attach it to the concrete. So we're literally attaching it to the floor. We have to knock a hole through that wall for some water, going over into the sump area. Today's that staging day, figuring out all the little details, and now we'll start production. This is going to be a massive pond system. So we just calculated approximately 2,300 gallons of water inside of this pond.